What's going on, guys? Ashtinho Plays here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today's is a very important video indeed, and I will explain for why. In fact, it's probably going to be in the title of this video actually, because I feel as though today it just has to be, you know, to the point where everyone knows what is going to be in this episode. Now, if you've been following every episode of the series, or at least every episode of this season, you will know we are in the final of the Champions League. And that is against Bayern Munich at Real Madrid's Bernabeu Stadium. That is going to be one hell of a big game, but before we get to that, last two league games of the season need to be played, and if we get 1 point out of these next two games, then we are going to win the Premier League in the fourth season of this career mode, which is a lot sooner than I had expected. And wouldn't it just have to be against West Ham, the team that relegated United from the Premier League with the whole Carlos Tevez saga, which is still a living memory for many. In fact, for most, considering it really was not that long ago when you think about it. But focusing on the actual action here in the game, we go 1-0 down to a penalty. A bit of a bad way to go behind in the game to West Ham. We were really looking to beat them and get revenge for what happened with the Carlos Tevez saga. But here, we get our own penalty for the same cause, a handball. It's instant karma pretty much. What goes around comes around with the handball given as a penalty, and Dicko steps up to score. It's 1-1. And with nearly 20 minutes gone, it is a pretty lively game actually, and we're still in contention to pick up the point that we need. And here, Bruma with a brilliant cross, what a header into the net, and it's 2-1 with Bentaleb. Not often that he scores in this career mode, but he has done that today, and what a header from a great cross as well. And number 27 gets his fourth goal for the Premier League season. As I say, not a common scorer, but when he scores they are usually good. And the situation at half time is us going in at 2-1, and there wasn't really much going on in the second half, but we brought Kieran Agard on, who's been with us since season 2. Could he get the goal? Yes, he could. A brilliant finish into the top corner of the net, and on 82 minutes a counter-attack with them pushing for the equaliser leads to the third goal, and now West Ham are being given the punishment that we always wanted to give them. And the question was, could there be more? It's controlled build-up play as Traore passes into Skugel. He sweaties it to Agard. Call me sweaty all you like, but I don't care, because we're 4-1 up and heading emphatically for the Premier League title. What an achievement, just to put that into perspective. In Season 1 we started from League 1. We were champions of that division, and we haven't been champions of a domestic league since. Until now, Premier League champions confirmed, and there could be so much more to come in this episode, with the Bayern Munich game looming large. However, we're actually not going to get the trophy presentation in this game. It is stupid. It's our last home game of the season. Traditionally, in real life, you get your trophy in the last home game of the season. But guess where we would have to go and lift that trophy? Probably the worst place to go and do it, in my opinion. We have to go to the Stadium of Light to lift the Premier League trophy. I mean, come on. It's almost as if it's some kind of punishment having to go to the Stadium of Light and lift the Premier League trophy we've worked so hard for. And you're making us go to pretty much one of the worst stadiums in the league, or at least one of the worst built anyway. Although I forget that Bournemouth haven't got a very big ground, but you know, I mean, surely most of you know which team I support, and you must know that I absolutely hate this stadium and do not want to get the Premier League trophy in it. It is genuinely like a punishment, and because I disrespect this stadium so much, I refuse to make my best players play in it, because it is a punishment for them. It is actually a punishment for them to have to play in this terrible stadium, and Ambrose, who doesn't play often, is actually just grateful to get a game, so he doesn't really mind. But here we go behind and perhaps my team selection was a bit flawed because I was trying to rest players for the Champions League final, and Liam Bridcut goes on to score. He doesn't even play for them anymore, so that's pretty interesting. But anyways, 1-0 down at half time and not going overly great, but we do haul Ambrose off the pitch and put on top scorer Traore, because if he can bag himself a goal, that will consolidate his position as one of the best players this season, although he doesn't really need to because he already is. But here Tolisso going through unmarked, and what a finish into the net for 1-1 on 66 minutes. It had been coming, and probably one of the highest quality players on the field finds the net for his 7th of the season. He's been pretty prolific for a midfielder, and Burns, with 10 minutes left, scores the winner perhaps to make it 2-1, and we are going to win this league in style. We're not losing our last game, in fact we're not even drawing it if it stays the same, and it does. There we go. We already knew we'd won the title, but it's a stylish way to finish it, and we win 2-1 in our final Premier League fixture in this season. And I mean, here's an interesting point. If we go on to win the Champions League as well in this season, I'm just not sure if there's really any point in doing a Season 5, because it would seem a bit boring. There's not really much else left to win. But obviously I'm not going to make that decision. I will make a video where people can vote and say what they want to happen, because if people want to see a Season 5 and there is good demand for it, it will still be happening come what may. So yeah, there is still the fact we have to still win the Champions League for that to happen. But I feel as though we've got a great chance because we've already knocked out Barcelona and Juventus on the road to the final. So what's stopping us really? And now the first big trophy presentation, and Ginter lifts the Premier League trophy. You would not expect to say that, and would not have expected it certainly at the start of this career mode. It is an outstanding occasion, lifting the Premier League trophy with one of this season's most solid defenders, and the reason why we have such a good defensive record. Spurs end their season with a 2-0 win away to Liverpool, but it's not enough. They simply couldn't catch us in the end, and what an outstanding title victory. It is literally shades of what Leicester have just gone and done in real life. Only I guess you could argue we spent more money than the entire value of their squad, so that might be a slightly flawed argument, but you know, that is just how career mode goes. Sometimes you do have to spend big and be prepared to get top players if you want to do well. We haven't signed too many really expensive players, but Ginter himself was over 20 million, so he was a lot of money, but he is a quality player, so not much of a problem. But this is the one that matters, the climax of the season, and what a dramatic setting to have it in. The Santiago Bernabeu, and this is just, there could not be a better setting for such an important game. But we weren't showing many nerves, we were going after them, and Dicko has the first shot on target of the game. But at half time there was still no decisive breakthrough, a pretty cagey affair in the first half. But it's understandable given the occasion and the importance of the match, neither team wanting to risk it. But here, we put the cross into the location of uncertainty. It doesn't come to anything, but Bruma eventually receives the ball. He should do a lot better there. And here, Robin hits the bar, and it's the luckiest goal you'll probably see this season, with Muller getting in for the goal. And after 59 minutes, an unfortunate way to go 1-0 behind. And now, this is going to be a real test of our character. Have we got the team spirit to come back from one down against the top side? But Bergwijn is running through them all. He passes it to Agard on as a sub, and what a goal! An instant response, and a brilliant finish as well. I mean, Agard, he doesn't score many because he doesn't play in many games, but when he scores, and when he steps up to the mark, he is one of the most important players in the squad. He can be relied upon whenever you need him, and he is one of the most reliable sources of dramatic goals at dramatic times. So his goal had us going into extra time. And here, Agard should have scored again, but Traore was offside, so even if he'd scored it wouldn't have counted. But Agard was having chances aplenty, but it wasn't enough. It went to penalties, and this is what it all comes down to in this career mode. Muller with the first penalty. Will he score? And he does. The keeper goes the right way, but it was just too high of a dive. And Tolisso, can he beat the nerves? He can. A brilliant penalty. High into the net. Now Robin, you would expect him not to bottle this one, but the question is, does he score? A calm penalty, and he has scored. It is super tense right now. Agard, the scorer of our goal, what's he gonna do? It's close. The keeper nearly saves it, but he just about gets it in. And Lewandowski, it's gonna be tough to save this penalty, but will he score? And it's another goal. It's getting closer, it's getting tenser. But this penalty shootout isn't done yet. And Ginter, of all people, to take the penalty. What a finish from a centre-half. And now Douglas Costa. Can he bottle it? Can he stomach it? The answer is just about yes. Just about. But both sides are hanging on for dear life as Traore slots his away. And it's going to be so tense. Badstuber, surely. What's going to happen? He slips, and this could be a chance to seal it. 5-4 we could win, with Burns of all players signed in Season 2. He wins it. We've won the penalty shootout, and won the Champions League. What a way to end the season, and it is now all over. Nothing more that can be done. 1-1 in normal time, 5-4 on penalties. Such a resilient display, and Wes Burns, the Welsh right midfielder, puts it away. A brilliant penalty into the top corner, and Badstuber simply couldn't bottle it. He could not stomach it in such a big occasion, and it's his name that goes down as being the player who missed the decisive penalty. And Burns is not the only one who deserves the plaudits. He may have scored the winning penalty, but it was a fantastic team effort. At times when we were under the cosh, not just in this game, but throughout the Champions League campaign against top class teams like Barcelona and Juventus, we held together. We held our shape, whilst it may be a simple 4-4-2 shape, but we held our discipline and stuck to our guns. We didn't try and change the formation, we stuck true to those plain simple 4-4-2 tactics, and this team has executed them perfectly. We are the kings of spirited responses to setbacks, shown by Agard responding within 3 minutes. And it was a tense game, but you can't blame us, and for the second time in this episode, a brilliant victory in a competition with famous history. First the Premier League, now the Champions League. And that is going to be the end of Season 4. What a way to end Season 4. And now, after 2 stunning trophy wins, the rest is in your hands. As the viewer, soon there will be a video up where you can vote on whether you want a Season 5 of this career mode or a selection of other career modes that I could do. And career mode won't be as big of a part of my channel because I'm going to try and do videos on Star Wars Battlefront and Rocket League as well, but it will still be present. So that is a decision to be made, and hopefully that attracts a lot of interest and a lot of people are willing to make the vote. But this is the final table, 85 points, 6 points clear. Enough said. A brilliant episode, a brilliant career mode. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.